What's up, everyone? It's Dakota, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from my usual Magic stuff, and I'm going to be talking about Pokemon because I've been really diving into Sword and Shield a lot. Did the DLC and everything, and of course, about a week ago, finished my Pokedex. Both of them waiting for the Isle, or excuse me, waiting for Crown Tundra. But this is going to be a battling video because I really love the battling in Pokemon. So this is something that I've been messing around with, and what I've seen on sites like Smogon and what other Pokemon YouTubers are talking about is basically making Jack Black, aka Urshifu, single strike form, basically being good in competitive Pokemon. So this is kind of the team that I came up with, and it doesn't necessarily just make Urshifu the center of attention, but rather like gives it the huge boost that it needs. So I'm gonna go over him real quick and then go over the rest of the team while I'm obviously going through everything. So Urshifu single strike form is a fighting dark type, and it gets the special move Wicked Blow. Uh, Basically, it's a dark type move, and it always results in a critical hit. Base 80 power plus stab plus it being a critical hit basically makes it a base 160 power move, which is very powerful and having like no drawback other than being a dark type move, which I guess give or take is like a drawback in itself or not. So uh, basically, what I'm doing here with this Urshifu, most people are running Choice Scarf, which raises its speed by 1.5 times, but locking you into a single move. But I decided that with a teammate that I'm going to talk about next, after I get done talking about him, I've decided to go with Choice Band rather than Choice Scarf. Choice Band raises its attack power or boosts its attack by 1.5, but only allows it to use one move, which doesn't matter because we have basically some of the best attacking moves in the game with some coverage. So, close combat, wicked blow are the moves that you mainly want to use. Close combat is a base 120 power, but when you factor in stab plus the choice band equipped to Urshifu, basically this becomes a base 240 power move, and anything that gets hit super effective by it is more than likely going to get one shot by that. If not, I mean, you're gonna really put some serious holes in people's teams. Wicked Blow, obviously not being as strong, and I think overall it doesn't end up being as strong, but getting 1.5 times boost for being stabbed, 1.5 times boost from choice band, and 1.5 times for being a critical hit all the time definitely adds up and can break through walls and is really good if your opponent's trying to set up some like defense, like iron defenses and things like that, or is just naturally bulky. Like Wicked Blow and Close Combat can kind of get through them really quick. U-Turn is a lot of tempo. It hits really hard because obviously, while it's not stab or anything like that, it does get boosted by the choice band, and you're obviously not going to be locked into U-Turn unless you don't have any Pokemon to switch into. U-Turn just gives you a lot of tempo, lets you switch out into some of the other threats that are in the team that your opponent might try to hit that obviously won't be super effective, which can also really be nice, especially trying to switch in some other Pokemon that might have a better matchup against the Pokemon that you're facing. Poison Jab, just really good against fairy types. Leaving with a poison is, kind of whatever, but being a base like 120 power move because of Choice Band can almost, I think, one shot, if not put some serious dent in some fairy type Pokemon, as well as some of the other like grass types and things like that. So that's Urshifu. I'm running the EVs, or it's a Adamant Nature with max EVs and attack and speed, and that's going to be kind of the theme for like most of these Pokemon, having some nature that is either going to favor speed or attack at the cost of like special attack or attack. Really, these Pokemon just being good on their own naturally by being fast and just hitting super hard, like all-out offense, but also just getting to get some subtle advantages from its next of its two teammates that you want to pair it up with, Whimsicott. So Whimsicott has the Prankster ability that gives priority to status moves, and more specifically, +1 priority to status moves. So if we look here, which Whimsicott is a jolly nature, favoring speed, losing attack. but actually having max speed and max special attack, for the fact that it's wearing Focus Sash. So if it would get one shot at full health, it lives on 1 HP, and then the Focus Sash goes away. So essentially, you have some options to play with, and Whimsicott is just basically built to be super annoying while also hitting like its own fluffy Mac truck. So Tailwind and Taunt are the staples, I would say, of this set. Tailwind doubling your team's speed for 4 turns, which is really good considering that, like, since all of our Pokemon are invested in max speed and some of them having a nature that favors speed, if Whimsicott is able to set up a Tailwind and essentially not get taunted by maybe another Prankster user or even another Whimsicott, which would come down to a speed tie because our Whimsicott is favoring speed and is max speed with perfect IVs. Essentially, like Urshifu and some of these other Pokemon are going to have their speed doubled, which is why you don't necessarily need Choice Scarf with Urshifu, and you go with Choice Band or some other move to boost its attack, because Tailwind is going to do a better job than what Choice Scarf is going to do in terms of boosting its speed and everything. Taunt is essentially just to be super annoying for Pokemon that could potentially set up Trick Room, because Trick Room is bad for us because it's going to completely ruin us. Our Pokemon aren't very defensively bulky. They're just meant to be all out, like blow holes in your opponent's team and either have some of your other Pokemon that have spread moves clean them up, or obviously those Pokemon that are blowing holes in that team just do their job and knock out those Pokemon. But Taunt can basically make your opponent only be able to choose attacking moves for 3 turns, which is pretty good because games aren't going to, hopefully matches aren't lasting that long and you win like 4 or 5 turns. So by the time your Tailwind goes down, or by the time the taunt's over, basically the thing you taunted is either already knocked out, or you're so far ahead that, like, even if your opponent manages to knock out one Pokemon, like, you still have 2 other in the back that can knock out and potentially outspeed whatever Pokemon they brought. Helping Hand can raise the power of an ally's attack. I like using this just for that extra bit of power. There are some Pokemon that are bulky enough that, or just take neutral damage, maybe even resist, that do survive, like Max Attack, Choice Banded, Stab, Close Combat, and Helping Hand can basically make sure that any priority moves or anything like that that you bring to the table can knock out those Pokemon. And Moonblast as the final move is just a hard-hitting stab fairy move that obviously goes towards that special attack that we invested in. You could probably make Helping Hand like a different like spread move, just because you can utilize the speed on Whimsicott to get some knockouts and clean up some other Pokemon after it sets up Tailwind. But generally, I like Helping Hand just because, again, like if they double down on Whimsicott, like Helping Hand is a way that you can just like essentially get an attack with Whimsicott and be able to sure a knockout on a Pokemon. While if they try to double into like other Pokemon, like Whimsicott can also just go on the offensive and try to get a knockout of its own. So maybe not exactly like the best spread of moves, but like Tailwind, Taunt, and Moonblast are definitely must-haves for a set like this. And with like Helping Hand, that could be just like anything else, but I definitely recommend those 3 moves. Moving on to the next one, one of the hard-hitting Pokemon that I like, and I think the more and more I play around with this team, the less I like Dragon Dance. But an Adamant Gyarados with Intimidate helps out on the fact that we're not very bulky defensively. So like you could essentially like Urshifu switch into Gyarados and get an Intimidate drop, survive an attack, and then just kind of like go all out with your Gyarados as well. Holding a Citrus Berry just to restore its health, because we have Life Orb on a different Pokemon that is, I think, utterly busted. So Waterfall, good stab, like physical move, can also make the user or the target flinch. Basically base 120 power. If you decide to Dynamax Gyarados and hit with Max Geyser, you can set up Rain, and then like Waterfall just ends up doing basically double damage, so it ends up being like 160, which a lot of Pokemon aren't going to be able to handle. Power Whip just a very strong grass type move. Can also set up grassy terrain, which can start healing some health over time, which is a way to essentially for our team to abuse it is because we're all out attack. We're just trying to basically one shot and two hit KO as many Pokemon as possible. Avalanche, kind of like a worse move, but is a physical ice type move for coverage, and its attack is double if it's been hurt by the target in the same turn. So maybe there's some like priority Pokemon that you can't really get, like quick attack or extreme speed is probably more than likely the one that you're going to see. Can double its power and take out Pokemon. Also, just a very good max move if you decide to Dynamax Gyarados. Dragonades, again, I don't necessarily like. You could probably put some other kind of like coverage move. Maybe go to Thrash just for the sheer power of it. Or maybe some other flying type move just as another stab move. But all in all, I've been having fun with this set in particular. So this is just kind of what I'm going with. But I'm probably going to change Dragon Dance at some point. Snips, aka Togekiss. This is the Togepi that you end up getting in a trade. I just haven't changed its nickname because I'm lazy. So this Togekiss, shoot, does not have a very good EV spread because I messed up. But this one, I would go with probably the more traditional like defensive role with this Togepi, or Togekiss. So I would probably split like into defense or defense and special defense with some investment in HP. Because the move pool that is on Togepi or on Togekiss is more or less meant for support and being like that second support mon. So follow me, yawn. Follow me basically makes it the target of all the moves on the other side, so that you can either set up, you can basically take out a Pokemon that's giving you problems at the cost of like Togekiss having to eat up a few hits. Which if it gets like a follow me plus a yawn off, or some combination of those, whether it's like double yawn or double follow me, is really good considering that you can just knock out two Pokemon to one, and if you just 2-for-1 your opponent in doubles, then you essentially just win the game pretty easily. Heat Wave and Dazzling Gleam are definitely good spread moves that can just kind of shore up some knockouts. Dazzling Gleam obviously being stab, not doing anything additionally, but just overall a very good spread move. Heat Wave is another like spread fire move that can also burn Pokemon. So you have a pretty good chance of burning because of the ability Searing Grace, which is like the additional effects of Cure when attacking. So you're more likely to get burns, and you're very likely just to get one burn on one Pokemon. If you use the attack like two or three times, like it'd be very unlikely, I think, if you don't get a burn. Meant to be very supportive. Again, I screwed up the EVs. Weakness policy probably isn't the best for this one either, but definitely if you get hit by like a rock type move or even a poison type move and you're able to live it with a very bulky Togekiss, and just its special attack stat being very high, getting that 2-stage boost in special attack and attack will help Heat Wave and Dazzling Gleam a lot, and even be able to shore up some knockouts with some of your other Pokemon, hopefully with Tailwind set up so you can just guarantee that only one other Pokemon are moving except for both of them. Did not mean to do that. So, kind of revealing like the rest of the team. Cinderace, I think, is totally stupid and broken. So, Life Orb Cinderace with max attack, max speed, and I believe it has like a small investment in HP. But the big thing is the Libero ability, whatever the heck it is. It's stupid. So, just like Protean on Greninja, it changes the Pokemon's type to the type of move that it's about to use. So, we just have 4 really good moves to change its typing. So, Pyro Ball is a very hard-hitting fire type move that can also leave with a burn. Iron Head can cause flinching. High Jump Kick obviously is just probably one of the strongest fighting type moves, with the drawback of like hurting itself, but you don't run basically Suicide Cinderace to not play with Jump Kick. Plus, jump kick says it has a 90% accuracy. I think it's 100 because I can't tell you the last time I missed with a high jump kick. And sucker punch is basically priority for shoring up some KOs as well, and hitting very hard with the fact that it becomes stab when it tries to use it, and then life orb also boosting it by another 30%. Can deal a lot of damage to Pokemon like Dragonpult, where Sucker Punch can just pick up an easy one-hit KO if they're not. Basically, if they're running an attacking Dragonpult, Sucker Punch is going to one-hit KO all day. Obviously, support Dragonpult is going to be a little bit harder, but you can still hit it pretty hard with like Pyro Ball, being a 2-hit KO. This and Urshifu are probably more than likely the Pokemon that you're Dynamaxing, just because Urshifu and Cinderace have some of the strongest attacks that you have on them right now, and so like Pyro Ball, Iron Head, High Jump Kick, and Sucker Punch are all like just really powerful max moves that you can use on your opponents, and obviously with the coverage in that, and still being able to use the ability to move stab, can really just sure up like one-hit KOs on your opponent's Pokemon. Also, a thing to note, backtracking to the Urshifu, if you use a max move with Choice Band, you can actually choose different max moves. So, like, you can choose Max Phantasm, whatever the moves. Like, you could basically choose like Max Phantasm and Max Knuckle, even if you have a Choice Band. So, something to keep in mind if you're locked into a move that might not necessarily be good, you could actually like Dynamax to be able to like take a hit plus deal some massive damage to your opponent's Pokemon. But yeah, Cinderace, Jolly for just the maximum of max speed, just because this Pokemon outspeeds the majority of the meta Pokemon, and with it being max attack, basically just means that we can try to one-shot or two-hit KO as many Pokemon as possible. So, yeah, Cinderace is broken. I definitely recommend using this Pokemon of any of these. That and Whimsicott. The last one, Dragonpult, because this Pokemon is also kind of stupid, but really sweet. Berry to increase its HP in a pinch. We're going with a Jolly Nature for max speed and the ability Infiltrator. I recommend using Clear Body instead because this is a physical Dragonpult, and again, I don't necessarily like Dragon Dance as much as I used to with this set, so definitely can look into a fourth non-stab move or maybe another like stab move. That'd be pretty powerful, but I think Phantom Force and Dragon Darts are basically one of the best ones. Probably even using like Thunder Wave or something like that for another form of like speed control, or Will-O-Wisp, depending on the Pokemon that you are facing. So, essentially, with this Dragonpult, you have U-turn for tempo. Obviously, like enough of the time, you're not gonna really need the Tailwind from Whimsicott. So, like, you could have like Whimsicott Dragonpult leads where Whimsicott's not setting up Tailwind on turn 1, and Dragonpult's just running like Interference plus disrupting other like Trick Room setters and things like that with Whimsicott. And on top of that, like Dragonpult just can hit really hard with also having solid defensive stats. So again, U-turn is definitely tempo. Lets you switch into Pokemon that you want. Could switch into Gyarados in the back, get an Intimidate drop. Could switch into like Urshifu while also dealing some damage to a Pokemon that maybe Dragonpult can't hit very hard, but like Urshifu or Cinderace can, to just sure up a knockout on the next turn. Again, Dragon Dance probably is not that great. You could probably run Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, or maybe like one of the screens, depending on what you expect to run into more. I'd probably lean more towards Thunder Wave just because that's more of a catch-all to what the majority of people are running for in the format. Phantom Force gets through, Protect, also a stab, and Dragonpult hits like a Mack truck, not like a jet that it likes to portray itself as. So this hits really hard. It is a 2-turn move, so Dragonpult can sort of kind of protect itself with like either Whimsicott or just switching into another Pokemon, and having a run interference and making them have to wait and potentially taking out their counter to Dragonpult. Dragon Darts, while it is a base 50 move, if you take into account stab, because I believe it counts for both, each hit does 50 base power. But if you take into account the 1.5 boost from stab, it's actually base 75 power for each dart. So then the move itself total comes out to 150 instead of 100, which if you look at some of the other dragon type moves, like Draco Meteor is good, but it's only like 130, and I guess once it gets boosted and everything, it is stronger. But you can take advantage of Dragon Pult's very good physical attack, and having Dragon Darts either spread out the damage, which is random. Like you could hit both targets once, or you could hit the same one twice. And if you just get on like 2-on-1 situations, like Dragon Darts is going to hit super hard. And obviously, uh, going off that physical attack, you can run special attacking Dragon Pulse, but I prefer the physical ones just because Phantom Force is a very good move in and of its own. And yeah, that's it for this team that I've been playing with. I've been playing with it on ranked. Obviously, I think a lot of things can be better, and there are going to be some changes that I'm going to look at, especially with like Dragon Pull and Gyarados, because you don't really need those setup moves. They hit hard on their own, and on top of that, like if you just need sheer power versus like the coverage they offer, I mean, you could just go like Cinderace and Urshifu to blow holes in the opponent, and like having Gyarados and Dragon Pull just shore up some other matchups on top of just being really good Pokemon is also very good. Some changes that I would possibly think if you don't like any of these Pokemon, like some recommendations, I would choose like Grassy Surge Rillaboom is very popular with a priority grass move, being able to set up grassy terrain and just being a very bulky Pokemon, and also having Fake Out as well to essentially do what we want to do, just making sure that only one of your opponent's Pokemon gets to attack versus both of them is very good. Also pairs pretty well with Cinderace, just being able to hit something pretty hard with a stab boosted Grassy Slide, and then Cinderace being able to follow it up with a very strong attacking move to knock it out. Again, fills that role of just running interference and really setting up its teammates very nicely, which is kind of the point of this team. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's something completely new and something different that I've been doing on my channel. I've been recently getting into VGC and watching other like Pokemon YouTubers and stuff like that. Magic being pretty stale to me at this point, until rotation happens for like standard and they decide that they want to do something with modern. There's also a banner restricted announcement coming up, so I will be going over that when it goes live. But yeah, aside from that, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you want to see more stuff like this, me going over some other like VGC teams, or just going over like fun Pokemon to use and things like that. Be sure to also subscribe. I am still going to be doing Magic content, so don't worry about that. I'm going to be mixing in some Pokemon and possibly maybe some other games as well, but we'll see where that goes. Be sure to also share the video, get the word out, try to grow the channel, all that fun stuff. Enjoy it with your friends, family, etc. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.